areas of that person's nervous system keep showing up in our tests, so we figure out where we want to target. Now, I want you to look at this through the lens of Romberg. When we do it, we're going to have our partners stand with their feet together, arms are by their, so however you do it. I don't mind if you go hands on the hips, I don't mind if you go hands by the side, I don't mind if you go here. Whatever you do, you keep it the same. You keep your testing standard. When I do Romberg, I have my patients have their hands here. Because what I'm looking for is for people to have what we call cantilever signs, arms moving as a response. These are giving us subtle clues. All right, is this person starting to fall? Their brain knows they're falling, so they're starting to have an arm reaction. Does that make sense? If I'm here, I don't quite know. If I'm there, I don't quite know. Yeah, whereas here, normal response. So I do it from here, and it's going to be stand feet together, so heels, big toes touching, and then now you're going to have some people who have got, you know, valgus knees. So the feet will be out here, or you're going to have some people who have bigger legs and thighs, and they can't. Just get them as close together as they can, and then have them close their eyes. When you do this, I'll go through this on someone, the whole routine. In this, what I want you guys to start looking for is the direction of sway. Really important. The subtle stuff that you will see. Have them stand there, feet together, have your arms beside them. Some people fall. Have your arms ready to go, and then as soon as they close your eyes, you're watching. Because often the only clue you will get is when they close their eyes, they do something like that, and that's it, when they're solid. So don't be going, close your eyes. Often with neurotest, because neuroplasticity, when we start doing these, as the person does them, they might make a mistake on the first one, and the brain learns, and then it fixes it the second time, and you missed it because you weren't paying attention. You must watch from the start. You're not sitting there looking at your phone, not talking to front desk. When you're examining the person, you're there, you're present, you're observing immediately. So our Romberg will be just like that, eyes closed, watch for the direction of their sway. If they step or fall out of the position, they open their eyes, of course, making note of all of that, observe the direction of sway. Tandem Romberg again, non-dominant leg, which foot would I kick a ball with? The foot that you kick the ball with is the one that goes in front. Tandem Romberg, so we're heel to toe, arms by the side again, and then from that position you have them close their eyes. There's no pass number for this. There has been some research on this, because I don't know if you're aware that they use this as a test for the bends, decompression sickness, you know, in divers. For divers to pass the bends test, they have to be able to stand here like that, eyes closed, 45 seconds. Now there's some evidence out there that says that if you can't stand there for at least 6 seconds, you've got a problem. And again, this, no, just this. Yep. Yeah, shoot, this will all be shoes off. So 10 seconds is sort of considered maybe a passing rate. General rule is, when you look at it from a neurological test, it's basically having the person stand there for as long as they can, you time it, and if they step or fall out of position, that's considered abnormal. That's how neurologists, so I'm like, well, when does it become normal to step and fall out of position? There's no number. That's the best I can give you from this one. There's no actual number, all right, in terms of what passes it. So what are we trying to do again? Put it all together with all of your other tests. But if you start to see now someone sway or fall's obvious one, but if you start to see this swaying constantly to the left, heel to toe, and you go into tandem Romberg, they go in here, everyone set, close their eyes. If you start seeing, they keep swaying to the left, sway to the left, then you come into this, and now all of a sudden you might see like an intention tremor on the left. Now we're starting to build information. We'll talk about what it means, but we're seeing this sort of left-sided pattern showing up. Got it? So, Romberg, feet together, eyes closed, observe. Tandem Romberg, eyes closed, observe. be ready to catch people, okay? And again, with it, can't really give you a number. Again, bends testing, decompression sickness, they have to do that for 45 seconds. There's some suggestions that 6 seconds, anything less than 6 seconds, that you could say is abnormal. Got nothing for you there. Right? Neurology world, you can see it in your appendix, spelt out the way the neurology world does it. There's no numbers. All right? Finger to nose, again, do not let them have their hands here. Hands are here. And when they do it, you're getting the person to bring their finger to their nose. Again, I'll show you how I do it in a minute. Finger to nose, finger to nose. When they're doing it, you're looking to see as they approach their nose, is there a subtle tremor? Do you see them approach their nose and almost stop and then go? So hypometric. All right, you see the bad ones where they come in here and they go like this. You'll see it. I have a bunch of patients do that. And then the other ones where they're hypermetric and they come in and they go like this. And they put their finger through their face. All right, so looking for the tremors, looking for short, hypometric, looking for past the nose, hyper, and then your instructions that you'll hear in a minute are going to be tip of the finger to the tip of the nose. That, yeah, they hit their nose, that's not the tip of the finger to the tip of their nose. All right, so be anal with this because we're looking at subtle signs. Now the rapid alternating movements are going to be this. So from that position, turning up, down, supination, pronation, supination, pronation. Elbows here, supination, pronation, hand in your hands, supination, pronation. Now, what I want to start to break down here before we go further is what you're doing with this is you're working your way through the midline of the cerebellum out. When you're looking at Romberg testing, I can imagine through the midline. All right, Romberg testing, spinocerebellar. When I get to this stuff, all right, shoulder-based stuff, going slightly out, we're going to our globose. So fastigial for spine, we're getting to this globose emboliform. So globose is where, remember it? Globose, glenohumeral. Emboliform nuclei, elbow. Dentate, digits. All right, the way that people used to remember it in the neuro world, because it was fastigial, globose, emboliform, dentate, fat guys eat donuts. Right, but from our body parts, glenohumeral, globose. Emboliform elbow, dentate, digits. Nothing for F with spine, just the midline stuff. So through there, I want you to think that these tests are working their way out. What are we looking for? We're looking for sways. We're looking for intention tremors. Even here, when we start our testing, when we get people, I'll show you in a second, when we get people arms up, before we even do the finger to nose, do you see something like that? That's a postural tremor. You saw something like that? Make a note of that. There's a right-sided postural tremor there as an example. Now, Lurier's sequencing task, fist, edge, pluck. We want to see people be able to get 3 in a row. The sequencing of it 3 in a row. Heel to shin, we're going to have someone sit on the chair. You're going to ask them to put their heel directly on the front of their knee. Hold it there for 3 seconds, and what are we looking for? Postural tremor to hold it there. Then you're going to have them, this is sitting, of course you're not having them standing like this is stupid because I remember shaking. Then you're going to have them run their heel down, directly down the front of the shin, and you're looking to see, is it going directly down or is there little tremors? Is it shaking side to side? Come off the big toe, back to the knee, do it again, back to the knee, do it again. So hold it for 3 seconds, look for a little bit of an intention tremor, and then 3 down the shin, again, looking to see, is it accurate, smooth, in a straight line. Do it on both sides. So if I've got a situation of, let's say I do this, and they're doing that, and they come to the left side, they're good, and they're good, they're good, you're going, all right, that right side. I gave you that example, and I maybe a tremor here. Maybe I did something like that. Maybe some stuff's going on here. If I'm looking at all of that information, I'm starting to see like a right-sided problem. The heel tap, you're going to get the heel, again, in the middle of the shin, and you're going to say, hit that spot on the shin 10 times in a row. And again, you're looking for the rhythm. Can they keep that same rhythm, or do you start to see losing the rhythm, losing that accuracy? Can I get someone up in front so we can go through this?